All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from, and I like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today is November 25th, 2024, Missile Monday, and I have this article from Newsweek, and it reads, Putin ally claims Russia's new nuclear missile is impossible to shoot down. So I'm just going to go into this article a little bit. I'm bringing a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And indeed, this is actually biblical prophecy, that, this, whatever particular missile that, they're claiming that Russia has can be shot down, because pursuant to Joel 2, which I'm going to get, that these missiles, once they're launched, they won't be stopped, they won't be shot down, they won't collide, and explode, in midair, they're going to hit their targets, regardless. So it says Russia's newly battle-tested missile is impervious to Western air defenses and can reach European capitals within minutes, former President Dmitry Medvedev has claimed. Says Europe is wondering what damage the system can cause if the heads are nuclear, whether it is possible to shoot down these missiles and how quickly the missiles will reach the capitals of the old world. Medvedev posted to Telegram on Sunday, the answer, the damage is unacceptable. It is impossible to shoot down with modern means, and we are talking about minutes. On Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that his forces had struck a factory in the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Dnipro. It says with a new medium-range ballistic missile dubbed Oreshnik. The strike, originally reported by Ukraine as an intercontinental ballistic missile, was conducted with with nuclear-free hypersonic equipment, according to the president. However, the capabilities of the now combat-tested missile has sparked concerns about the potential threats to Ukraine's allies if it were equipped with nuclear warheads. Says bomb shelters will not help, Medvedev said on Sunday. So the only hope is that kind Russia will warn about launches in advance. Therefore, it is better to stop supporting the war, which it won't happen, man, because again, World War III is inevitable. It's going to happen regardless if people want it to happen or not. Of course, the men of the Lord, we want this to happen because, again, there's prophecy that this third world war is going to happen, because in reality, this third world war is really the day of the Lord, where pretty much, destruction on a major scale is going to take place, in this earth, where an entire landmass is going to be destroyed, completely. So, they can try to, offset prophecy all they want, but it's going to happen. Something is going to happen to where eventually Russia and America are going to have to step in on behalf of their allies, and eventually these two nations are going to be directly at war with each other, So it says the launch of the hypersonic missile has already sounded alarm bells among Ukraine's allies, with NATO reportedly convening an emergency meeting for Tuesday to discuss the escalation of the conflict and the potential new threats to European nations. On November 24th, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said the Ukraine's said that Ukraine's Security Service and Internal Affairs Ministry had provided fragments of the Oreshnik or Oreshnik to Western news agencies, and that the country would work with its allies to find a response together to this latest Russian escalation. Says, countering the claim made by Medvedev, he added, the world has air defense systems capable of countering such threats. Everyone must focus on this. Russia must feel that every step it takes to expand the war has consequences for it. The employment of the Oreshnik came in apparent response to the authorization for Ukraine to employ American and British missile systems against military targets inside Russia, a long-standing request by Zelensky. Kyiv has already used U.S.-supplied Army Tactical Missile Systems, or ATACMS, and Franco-British Storm Shadow cruise missiles on military targets within Russia. Says in his Thursday address, in which he announced the use of the Oreshnik missile, Putin said that the country would determine the targets during further tests of our advanced missile systems based on the threats to the security of the Russian Federation. Says, we consider ourselves entitled to use our weapons against military facilities of those countries that allow to use their weapons against our facilities. And in case of an escalation of aggressive actions, we will respond decisively in a mirror-like manner, Putin said. So again, this man right here, he's not effing around, man. He's not effing around. And, Lord willing, he stays in his position to help take down Babylon. Because again, man, this isn't, in any shape or form a joke. This is real life, things that are taking place. Because recently, within just, the past week, Joe Biden pretty much gave the Ukraine authorization to use, U.S. and it's also said, British nuclear weapons or British missiles against Russia, in which they did that very same day, or if not the following day, to which, what did Russia do? They responded, they retaliated, Now I'm not going to pull up the clip, but pretty much, again, the missile that they used to retaliate, it looked more devastating than the missiles that were dropped on, those particular Russian cities, man. So again, Ukraine, is pretty much going to F around and find out, because again, as it's mentioned in the scriptures in Revelation, when it talks about the beast, the feet of the bear being Russia, So pretty much, again, the Ukrainians are going to keep poking at the bear until ultimately, it snaps, because again, man, Russia right now is a force to be reckoned with, because again, the primary two nations that possess the most nuclear weapons are the United States and Russia. They possess, anywhere to 5,000 to 6,000, nuclear warheads. But between these two nations, Russia has more than America, which again is biblical prophecy, because the bear is going to take down the whore, the bear being Russia, the whore being America, Babylon the Great, So this is what's happening in real time while, these people are still, in an uproar over, Donald Trump becoming president again, man. Russia is ready to, pretty much push the button, or Vlad, I should say, Vladimir Putin, he's ready, man. He's ready to take this place down. which I'm not going to grab it, but pursuant to Revelation, Ezekiel 38, where it pretty much talks about, the Lord putting hooks into the jaws of, Gog, which modern day Gog is Russia, the chief prince, which, Russia is actually a Hebrew word, which is Ra'ash Shar, Rashar, it's like your Ra'ash, being head, Shar being prince, chief prince, so that's what Russia means. But ultimately, on a smaller scale, Russia is going to take down America. But on a grander scale, we know that it's going to be our Lord Yahweh Shai, accompanied by, the angels, So I don't want to make this one too long. I'm going to start in the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. And it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." And as we know, this coming World War III, it isn't going to be like traditional warfare, where you had a group of men on one side, a group of men on the other side, charging each other in the center of the battlefield, wielding, weapons of war, swords, spears, shields, bow and arrows, things of that sort. This war is primarily going to be fought with nuclear technology, nuclear missiles, if you will. Now you will have ground troops that are going to be going to war with each other, but this war is primarily going to be fought with these nuclear weapons. And, Joe Biden giving Ukraine authorization to use U.S. missiles against Russia is just, going to escalate it even further, So staying in the book of Isaiah, I'm going to jump to chapter 54 and verse 16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." And again, the modern day smith being those scientists and physicists that are behind developing these nuclear weapons, man. And of course, the waster to destroy being the nuclear missiles themselves, in particular the warheads, man, because that's the part of the missile that does the damage, the warhead, because this is very serious, and this is for an appointed time. So I'm going to jump to Joel chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. And it says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh." And what is the day of the Lord? World War III, because our Lord Yahweh Shai is going to come back in the midst of this third world war to pretty much finish off these nations, Says, "For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations and right." The day of the Lord is not going to be a good day, man. As it says, it's going to be a day of darkness, man, thick darkness, gloominess, man. The sky, it's going to be dark, man, because the chariots, the angels, they're going to be blotting out the sky. And then once these missiles are launched, man, they're pretty much going to cover the sky as well, man, And that great people that it's talking about are the missiles, once they're launched, man, that's that great people, because all these nuclear weapons that are being created are, pretty much being created for this current time to be used, because once they're used, that's it, man. They pretty much serve their purpose, because that's why these nuclear weapons are being created. This is going to be the last and final war. This is going to be the greatest war to ever take place on the face of the earth, So this is why these nuclear weapons are being created, to pretty much end all wars, Verse 3, It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. And yes, man, now as we know, the remnant, the elect, they will be delivered from this destruction, this coming destruction that is going to take place primarily here in Babylon the Great, But anyone that is left on the soils of America, they're doomed, because it clearly says in the latter verse, nothing shall escape them, nothing, You're not going to be able to run. You're not going to be able to drive somewhere. Even if you have a bunker here in America, you're not going to survive, man. You're going to die. Nothing is going to be able to escape these missiles, man, because America is going to be completely destroyed, pursuant to Isaiah chapter 34, which gives you a vivid description of how America is going to look after this destruction takes place. Verse 4, it says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run, right? So again, man, these missiles are going to be in a particular order. They're going to be in a particular fashion, And then Salakia, jumping back to verse 3, where it pretty much says, a flame burneth. It's like a fire devoureth before them. So again, once these missiles are launched, they're pretty much going to be launched into space. They're going to leave the ozone layer, the firmament, if you will. They're going to get their specific, trajectory, their specific targets, and then they're going to return, into Earth's orbit, and return to the Earth on fire, because they're going to be traveling so fast, And then when it says the earth is as, or the land is as the Garden of Eden, of course, America, Babylon the Great, this land has not seen war. As far as, another nation coming over here and invading, and making war with this place, because you still have parts of America where the landscape, is beautiful, But once these missiles are launched, and they hit, again, it's gonna decimate this place, Here's the reason why it says behind them a desolate wilderness. So that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna make this place completely desolate, So jumping down to verse 5, it says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array. Again, talking about those missiles. Verse 6, it says, before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness, meaning these people are going to be sick, man, because they're pretty much going to see their death coming, and there's not going to be anything they're going to be able to do. They won't be able to escape. Again, just like it says in verse 4, not verse 4, but, the latter part of verse 3, nothing shall escape, man. These people are, they're doomed. These people are going to know they're doomed, man. Once they see those missiles coming, they're going to know that they're not going to be able to get away. Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his paths. It's like, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. So, right, man, these missiles are going to be in a particular fashion. One missile isn't going to, bypass another one. Another missile isn't going to hit another one and it's going to explode, which, I'm going to keep reading in verse 8. It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. And right, man, what did the headline of the article say? It says the new, a particular missile that Russia has cannot be stopped. A missile defense, it pretty much cannot be stopped. And that's biblical prophecy. And this is what Joel 2 is talking about. Slakia, that whatever particular missile that Russia has, it cannot be stopped by the U.S.'s defense systems, man. Because, just a few months ago, America was talking about, pretty much investing in their defense system, but it doesn't matter what they try to do. Their defenses aren't going to work, man. Because like it says, one missile isn't going to hit another one. It's not going to knock another one out the air. It's not going to bump into another one that's going to explode. It's not going to bypass another one. No, they're not going to break their ranks, because just like you have, soldiers, when they're marching in a particular order or fashion, one soldier isn't going to break his rank, and that's how these missiles are going to be, right? And just to prove that this is talking about nuclear missiles, right? So we're going to look up that word sword in this verse. So this is Strong's H7973, and it says shlach. And you clearly see the outline of biblical usage. Weapon, missile, weapon. So that's what it's talking about, nuclear missiles, man. You look down at the Strong's definitions. A missile of attack, right? That's what it's talking about, man. So the U.S. can try to shoot down whatever, missiles that Russia has, but it's not going to work. It's going to fail, Those missiles that are slated to hit this place are going to hit no matter what, So now I'm going to jump to Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1. And it says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads," talking about the elect, So once, the people that are slated to receive the mark of the beast, get chipped. And once the elect are completely sealed, then this destruction will take place, because it's slated for an appointed day. So I'm going to end it on this. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 15. And it says, "And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men." And yeah, man, this coming world war is slated for a particular day, man. The Heavenly Father has it mapped out when exactly he wants this to take place, because it's not just going to happen, tomorrow. Like, no, man. These particular prophecies have to come to pass. The prophecy of the mark of the beast being made mandatory has to come to pass. The prophecy of Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose here in America primarily, has to come to pass before this destruction takes place, And you have 3 classes of men on the earth. You have the sons of God, which today are the biblical Israelites, the tribe of Judah, all the way down to the tribe of Issachar, all 12 tribes. You have the sons of men, which are, the heathen nations. And you have the sons of the wicked, which are the nation of Edom, the so-called white man, which this destruction is for, man. This destruction is primarily for them. You will have 2/3 of our people that are going to get caught up in this destruction. And whatever heathens that are over here that don't, return to their homelands, they're going to get caught, in this destruction as well. They're just pretty much collateral damage. If they haven't returned to their homeland by now, they're pretty much over here just to die. The heathens don't matter. They don't fucking matter. Verse 16, it says, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire," talking about those missiles, man, because what are they made of? Metal, different types of metal. It says, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. Because remember, once these missiles come back, from being launched into space, they're going to come back to Earth on fire because they're going to be traveling extremely fast. Hence the reason, a primary example, either in that show, Fallout, or, another example in Terminator 2, with the scene with Sarah Connor, you pretty much, when she's seen the Flash, again, that's going to become reality, because that's how fast, these missiles are going to hit. That's all you're going to see is a flash, and then just fire, man. Verse 17, or it's Lakia, finishing verse 17, and it says, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone, talking about the warhead, because that's the part of the missile that does the damage. And it says, and by these three was the third part of men killed, the wicked Esau, because that's what the destruction is for. But again, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are going to be destroyed, those that make it up until that point, and, the heathens that are still over here. And it says, by these was the third part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So yeah, man, the warhead is the part of the missile that does the damage. So that is what's going to be that vehicle that is going to destroy America, man. The warheads in particular, that's the heads, of these horsemen, right? And it says they had tails like unto serpents. It's like it says they had tails like unto serpents, and that's talking about that rocket propulsion system that is going to be, propelling these missiles to hit their specific target, because once they're launched, what do they leave? They leave a trail of smoke, That's those tails like unto serpents, man. And, this is it's real, man. This is real. It's wartime. It's wartime. It's been wartime, man. And, you have these Americans out here that are still in that spirit of mirth. You have the holiday, Thanksgiving, as brothers call it, Thanksgiving. But Thanksgiving is coming up this Thursday, which usually is in the third week of November, which is, odd because it's in the fourth week, this year, which I don't really care about it because, it's wicked to celebrate these holidays anyway, pursuant to Jeremiah chapter 10, follow not the way of the heathen. But overall, man, while these people are in this festive spirit, man, war is happening, throughout the earth. These various nations are going to war or still at war with each other, and these Americans are going to get caught off guard once World War III, officially gets cracking, So that's it for this one. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.